Hey guys, just a further reminder, we are recording, so I'm gonna need y'all to stay quiet. And since I'm essentially giving you answers to a test grade, your attention would be greatly appreciated. Is that fair? All right. So, shut up. I love you. Shut up. Okay. Don't care that that's on camera. All right. Let's talk a little bit about top-down design. Okay. Top-down design is a huge thing. And I know some of the methods I had you write might feel a little goofy, but we need to get in the habit of making tools that do one thing and do one thing really well. And then later on, when we are writing our code, we can find that code that does the one thing really well and call that one thing. So what were the 5 methods that I had you write? I'm going to need to go. Do you remember some of the methods I had you write?
Prompt num players.
So I had those 3 prompt ones, right? So we had prompt num players. Let's not worry about all the spaces and stuff because we're just fooling around here. Prompt num players. What were the other 2 prompt ones?
Something. I don't know.
What was it? Play again. And prompt RPS. Okay, and so it said result. Spelling is hard. And what was the last one? Okay, so we've got all of these. Let's just talk real quick about what they do so that when we hop into our main code, we know how to write our stuff. So what does random RPS do? It's probably the simplest one. Yes, it randomly gives us R, P, or S. Does it print it or does it return it? Returns it. So it says, here you go. Okay, result. What does result
Teachers and
do?
students, please pardon this interruption.
Okay, sorry, random RPS spits out, it returns R, P, or S. What does result do? Do you remember what result does? Okay, so it prints the winner. Based on like the choice that they make. Okay, so prompt. Basically, all these complicated prompts where I'm like, they have to put exactly this, and if they don't, you punch them in the face. Okay, so we've got all these. Okay, so now it's time to code our actual program, and you're going to see that since we've done all this background work, this is actually going to be real short and real easy to read. Okay, so let's let me pull up the instructions real quick if I can find them. Sorry, give me just a moment. I should probably pause my recording. All right, while this is pulling up, okay, let's go ahead and close our computers, please. Sorry. So, what's the first thing we do in our rock, paper, scissors program? Do you remember?
We asked them how many players.
Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is called pseudocode. Okay, pseudocoding is basically we're putting the skeleton of our program, and then after we do the skeleton, we're going to put the meat on it. Okay, so we're saying how many players? Okay? After we ask how many players, what do we do?
You need to see if it's 1 or 2.
Okay, so and that's what's happening here.
Well, say if it is.
If it- Ask them their name.
Okay, so we're gonna ask names. Okay? Ask for names. Okay, so next we're gonna ask for names. What happens after that?
Then they're gonna ask for ask the user the choice of rock, paper, or scissors.
So we're gonna ask, hey, what do you pick? Okay, and if it's a computer, how are they gonna pick? Okay, so ask for, I'm gonna call it RPS choice. Cool. We've got their RPS choice. You may not remember this step, but I asked you to print their choices. And then we've got 2 more things left to do. What's the next thing we do?
Print over here.
Okay, print winner.
Using result.
Okay, and we'll get there in a second. Right now we're just, you're right though. And then what's the last thing we do?
Ask them if they want to play again.
All right. Y'all ready? Let's code this thing. I'm gonna give you your test grade. Happy Kwanzaa, okay? So, how many players? How are we gonna do this? Yes, sir.
We're gonna use the prompt that we already made. I forgot what it's called though.
Okay. So we're gonna use prompt num players. Sounds good. Do we want to store this anywhere?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you want to call it?
Number of players.
Sure.
Num player num.
Sure. Num players or whatever you want to call it. So num players equals.
Input. How many players?
We don't need an input because what did we do?
Oh.
We made a function called
And then we-
prompt num players. Did it have any parameters on it?
No.
Oh.
Nope. Because everything is being inputted by the user, so we don't need any parameters on this.
That's all.
Ask for names. Okay. So yeah, input. So what's going to be our first variable name?
Player 1.
Okay. So
Play 1. Play 2.
play 1, or I'm gonna be even more specific, and I'm gonna say name 1, just so we know specifically what we're talking about. Play 1 would be fine. Okay, but I'm gonna be more specific than that. Okay, equals. And put
Name of player 1.
yeah, player 1 name. Okay, beautiful. Okay, now what? I can't hear you.
Now we have to play Tuesday.
Okay, but there's a weird thing with player 2's name. What's the weird thing?
It's either gonna be a bot or a player.
It's either going to be a bot or a player. I don't know if you'll remember the instructions. What were the instructions if it was a 1-player game? What should the second player's name be?
Computer.
Computer. So how do we make our code branch? Always.
If
That's an
well,
if statement, okay? So what do we need to check on?
If 2 players.
Okay, so where do we store the number of players?
Num players.
Num players. So if num players,
Equals 1.
and we could do 2 or 1, it's going to run either way. Sure, we'll do 2. So if it's 2 players, what are we doing now?
we're gonna
So what do I do? Ask for a player 2 again.
So maybe instead of name 1, call this like name 2, something like that. Name 2 equals, and put player to name. Okay, so if it's a 2-player game, ask them for their name. What if it's not a 2-player game? So how do I do my other branch?
Else.
Else what equals computer? Name 2 equals computer. Oh. Whoop. Y'all feeling okay? All right, what's next? Okay, actually, tell me what you want. Rock, paper, scissors. So we're probably going to want to store these again. What do you want to call these?
Choices.
Okay, sure. Maybe choice 1, choice 2. Okay, so choice 1. How are we going to get their rock, paper, scissors choice?
You do the prompt RPS.
We already did that. Okay, so instead of having to yell at them and say, no, seriously, this is what I need you to put in, we're gonna do this. Okay, so choice 1 equals what?
Input.
Prompt RPS. Normally, would we do an input?
Yes.
Yes, but where is our input?
We already saved it.
It's in the method that we already made. Yes, sir.
And then for the bot, we're doing.
Hold that thought. Well, okay. So, first choice is that. Second choice. Okay, this is where our code splits. Why is our code split here?
You could have two different things if the players are if there's one player.
Again, it all depends on the number of players. So if num players equals 2, and we're just going to do the same thing, right? Except for we'll call it what? Choice 2. Choice 2 equals prompt RPS. Okay. What goes here? Else. Okay, our other branch. Sorry, I forgot my colon. So what do we do, Hayden? What do we do if it's a 1-player game?
Random rock, paper, scissors.
Random RPS. We had, I don't know why I have a T here. Sorry. Random RPS. Okay. So I'm gonna say, what's my code gonna be though?
Else choice 2 equals random RPS.
Choice 2 equals random RPS. And I know all of these have had no parameters. That's not an always thing. Just in our case, we didn't need parameters on these. What's next? We're going to print our choices. I'm going to be bad. I'm just going to unplug that real quick. Do you like how I'm moving my expensive Promethean board so I can get to my cheap whiteboard? All right. So I want to print something like John chose R or computer chose S. How am I going to do that? Print statement. So how do I print John or Joe or whoever the heck their name is?
Name 1.
Whatever you saved that as. I think we saved it as name 1.
Yep.
Okay. That's why I like to be specific. When I'm sitting there going, oh, man, where did we save the first name? It's literally name 1, okay? Plus what? Chose, and then where's the choice? Choice 1. Maybe put a period or something. And then what's next?
Same thing for name 2.
Same thing. Name 2. Chose choice 2. For those of you watching at home, we just did our print choices. What's next?
Print when. So result.
Result.
And I don't have to print result because result already had a print statement in it, right?
Yeah.
Did it have any parameters?
Yeah.
We had to shove in a bunch of stuff. We had to shove in 4 things, I think. First of all, they needed the names so it could show who the names were. So name 1, name 2. Okay. What's the other 2 things it needed to know who won? The choices. Folks at home can't see any of this. All right, choice 1, choice 2. All right. We're almost done with this stupid thing. We have 1 thing left to do.
And that's play again.
Play again. Okay. So what do we need to do here?
Call the prompt.
Okay. So where do y'all want to save that?
Play again.
Sure. Play. Y'all can't see me at home. Play again. Equals. What do we call that? Do y'all remember?
Wire. Or, sorry. Yeah.
Prompt. Play again. No parameters. So, what do we do? What do we do after this? So if it's no, we could, print something, whatever, smell you later, whatever. But what do we do if it's yes?
Start
Like to the beginning.
Okay. So hopefully y'all remember this trick from last year. What were you saying? Oh, sorry. No, I thought you were saying something, Maddie. So how do we say, oh, let's go to the beginning and do it again?
I can't remember. Let's go back to line 1.
Yes, but how do we do that?
I forgot.
It's a loop.
Oh.
Okay, there's more than one way to do it, but in this case, we're doing a loop. We're doing a while loop. Okay, so we can make it an infinite loop if we wanted. So let's go back to the very beginning, and and I think I had y'all. I said to do it after the names. Is that what I said? So right here, we're going to say while true. remind me, what does while true do? That's an infinite loop.
Until you break it.
So until we break it. So play again. So
Wouldn't it be while true before play?
what did you say?
Wouldn't it be while true before you put play? Something like that? I can't.
No. So it's at the very beginning of the thing that we would want to restart. Okay? Good thought. So if what? You may.
If play again, we can play again.
Play again equals.
True.
Did I have? Was it like capital Y? Is that what it had? If play again is yes, I guess really the important thing is if play again is no. What do we do if it's no? Break. Y'all, how long did that take us?
Sit down.
Do y'all see where top-down programming can be helpful? Okay? I know y'all are like, let's see this mess. Like, oh, I might pass this class after all. Guys, for the rest of this year, we're going to be taking advantage of top-down programming in all of our programs. Okay? We're going to write little methods that are going to help us on bigger things. Y'all hush. One of the other awesome things about top-down programming, and I think we've talked about this already, if you've got like a group project and you've got like this massive code that you have to write, well, I can say, hey, Caden, I want you to write prompt num players. And I can say, okay, Maddie, I want you to write random RPX. And you say, break. And then everyone goes their separate ways. Remember how sometimes in math class, you'd be like, hey, I'm going to do the first 3 problems. And the next person. And of course, math homework, that may have been a bad idea because you're trying to learn stuff. But on a big project, if you can break it into pieces, all of a sudden it becomes more manageable. Okay? Guys, are there any questions on this? All right. I'll see y'all later. You're welcome.